Although we're going to start this video with a few stills, rest assured there'll be video with printing machines on it later on. You wait and see. Today we're going to try some 4-colour process work. So we're going to start off with a picture and we're going to see if we can reproduce thousands of them. And we're going to be using the Thompson Auto Platen just because that's convenient and available. Looking at this picture, we can see that it's a full colour picture. It's got reds and greens and golds and blues and all sorts. But when we look close up, this is how it's made. Not only is it a series of dots, but it's a series of dots which in turn are made up of cyan, magenta, yellow and black. The combination of these 4 colours can create an illusion of any colour you like.
Okay, this is a piece of film which is entirely black and white, and you will have seen in that photograph that there are a large number of dots where the image is. That represents the grey or pale areas. This is the black film. You'll see in every corner we've got registration marks, so that when we come to print the ink one on top of the other, or print each plate one on top of the other, we're getting it in exactly the right place. We've also got this bar across the top, this test bar, which we're looking to reproduce on our printed job. Now this is the black one. Here we have the magenta, and here we have the yellow. Now the cyan film is currently being exposed to a plate. That will be printed first. The magenta will go on top, yellow on top of that, and the finished one will be the black one. So there we are. That's your film. Right, so what I've got here is a plate, light sensitive photopolymer, and a film on top. Putting that in there under a vacuum. Now the next trick is to give yourself some vacuum. That's a bit noisy. The idea here is to ensure that the film is absolutely flat on the plate. Right, that's the exposure complete. We can now lift the lid.
And the plate is ready to wash out.
Okay, what I'm going to do is wash out the plastic that hasn't been exposed and is therefore still soft, leaving behind the hardened plastic which has been hardened by exposure to ultraviolet light. So I've got the temperature set to lukewarm, just so that it's comfortable for the hands, which is ideal for the plastic, which is a good thing. I run the thing under a tap. Don't want too much water, I'll put it down a little bit. There we are. Got to keep the whole thing flowing in water. Become sort of sticky and fluid. Make sure we've got a very wet brush and gently, very gently, just take away the softened plastic, leaving the hard plastic behind. I'm putting no pressure on this at all. This is just literally dangling from between my thumb and forefinger and just kissing the job. Fairly long-winded process, takes a while, so in a moment or two I'm going to ask Mark to cut and bring you back to it later. I don't think even at the moment you can quite see.
Yes.
Can you see it in the camera? The image is beginning to form. Having completed the washing out, we've now got a relief plate and we're drying the photopolymer plastic. It's got to be very dry so there's no water left in it prior to post-exposure. Now, I haven't done process work since I was 21 years old, so I have to see how it goes. You'll notice here we've got a light spot, so I'm going to open the duct slightly in that area, try and even it out. I'm going to set the duct in advance so that we have about the right amount of ink going on the job. Then we have this adjustment here which allows us to adjust the length of stroke, whether it goes or whether it goes. Okay, so we're going to give it maximum for the time being, just to give it a start. And we can now go and start the machine up and run some ink onto our nice clean roller. As usual, I'm going to start the machine very slowly. Get the flywheel running first, get her up to speed, and begin running. Now we can see the glue spreading fairly evenly across the rollers. I'm going to wind the speed up a bit. There we are. When I think we have the approaching where I want to be. Right then, we've got our plate mounted on a mag mount. It's a steel back plate, so it sticks firmly to a magnet. Lock it in the machine, we'll start her up. We run the ink up, we know that we've got about the right amount of ink on there. And away we go. And we try feeding the first heat. I've fed the first heat, and I've got absolutely no pull on it at all. Not a sign. That means that I need to put more impression on. I can see that I've got ink on the plate. Okay, so I'm going to put a bit more impression on, using the impression adjustment down here. And I'm going to give it another try. Now I've got the image beginning to form. Now I can see that I've got a darker image on the right than I have on the left. Now when that's in the machine, that's darker at the top than it is at the bottom. So we'll add a little more packing, so instead of stopping there, it's going to stop vertically, not out at the top, not too much at the top, but in the middle, in a vertical position. So, to add a little packing, we're going to remove the tympan retaining bar at the top, and the one on the right. We're going to reach for a bit of packing. Lift the tympan, place the packing inside, tap the tympan back down again, making sure it's good and smooth all the way to the top. And all the way to the edge. I'm now going to remove a little bit of impression from the impression lever to compensate for that bit, and take the next pull. And there I have a nice even pull. That's a perfectly good job. I like it.